Today's video, 5 ways to find and explore new locations, hopefully providing a little bit of inspiration if you're not sure where to get out with the camera. And also I want to share how I find images when I go to these new locations. But first, let's get on with some B-roll. So tip number one, when you're looking for new locations to head to, and it's what I'm doing today basically, keep it local or think local. One of the things I've always tried to do is explore more local areas around me. Just going out to various random spots really. And the amount of beautiful landscapes that I've stumbled across just by going out and taking a risk, taking a chance, it's been endless. And of course it's great to head out to these grand locations, isn't it? We all kind of want to go up to the Scottish Highlands, take some amazing shots up there. Just depends how far you want to go really. But like I say, if you're struggling for a little bit of inspiration, one thing I like to do is I like to just come out to a local spot like this one. There's nothing really special about it, but like I kind of said when I was at Orr Marshes, another local spot really. It's not about always trying to get the portfolio worthy shot. It's about getting inspiration, just getting out and enjoying, capturing moments, capturing shots with the camera. Like I say, Orr Marshes, I never expected to get anything from it. But another big tip that I've found, if you are struggling for inspiration, if you can't think of anywhere local to go, if nowhere actually just jumps into your head, think nature reserves, think marshland. They have been great inspirations for me this last year. And what you can do is, I'll put a link down in the description below. It's a great website. I think it's the Wildlife Trust. I can't remember off the top of my head, which is really helpful, I know. But if you go there, what you can do is you can put in your postcode, state how far you want to go, and there's endless places. Like some places I never even knew existed. So first tip, if you're struggling to think where to go, think local, think nature reserves, think marshland, because there really are some hidden gems out there. So I am heading out today along this rocky, dirty beach with a purpose this morning. There is a boat graveyard off in the distance. You can see me walking towards it over my shoulder. And I've been there before, been there just the once. And I thought it would be a great place to come out to again. I don't know why, but the Medway, where I'm from, and this is the River Medway to my right, and they seem to dominate in a way the Medway kind of coastline. And I thought it'd be a great place to kind of come out with the camera, get something different. Now this is one pillbox that I've captured before, mainly head on, but never as the tide's been coming in. I've got to make sure that when I'm walking in that direction, I don't actually get cut off by anything, because that would be an absolute disaster. I don't fancy getting wet today. But normally I'll shoot this pillbox head on. But today I've seen this little bit of a wall. It acts as a beautiful leading line to the fallen pillbox. There's so many, like I've said in the past, that dominate this river, this part of the Kent coastline. Just leads you in. Got a little bit of a higher tide as well. And that brings me on to the second point I wanted to talk about today. After all, you might be struggling for inspiration. You might not have anywhere in your local area worth visiting. You might live in an area where there's just nothing around you for miles, or you may even have been out to all the spots local to you and you've exhausted them. I mean, there's only so many times, isn't there, where you can go back to the same spot over and over again. You get to learn what compositions are worth taking. You get to learn what isn't worth taking. So you start thinking to yourself, am I actually challenging myself? So the second tip, the second point I wanted to raise, it's pretty obvious. It is the internet. It is a treasure trove of information, isn't it? You've got social media, you've got books, you've got an endless amount of information to go on. Google Maps, satellite images. I love using that to be able to find new spots, new hidden gems to head out to. But if you think social media, think Instagram, there's plenty of times when I've been on there. I'm just thinking, oh, where shall I go? So I'll search local hashtags around Kent, around my home county. And I think, oh, that's a spot I've never been to. I'll take a trip out there. Now, of course, you're potentially copying what someone's done previously, but at the same time, don't forget you're freezing time. You're not able to get an exact snapshot as to when they visited. There's always an opportunity to get your own stamp on a composition, and it's something I'll talk about later on as well. You've got books. I've had books in the past, which is like the best, like, road trips you can do around your local area, the best walks. If you get out and explore, you might find things that you've never thought about, that you've never come across before. And then you've got Google Images, Google satellite images, I should say. That has come in so much use of late. When I went out to All Hallows recently, I managed to get the shot of the pillbox. Like I say, I'm getting a bit addicted to shooting pillboxes at the moment, but I found that one because I found it on the satellite imagery. I thought, let's take the risk, let's get out there. Might be worth shooting, it might not, and in the end, it was something worth capturing, wasn't it? Well, in my opinion anyway. Don't underestimate the power of the internet, that's for sure. The third point, yeah, I'm on to the third point, aren't I? Yeah, the third point that I wanted to discuss was, even if you find a location to head to, you're not sure whether to go there, whether it's worth it or not, just go, and you can use it as an excuse for a scouting session. I mean, what's the harm of heading somewhere and it not being the right spot or not, especially if it's local, especially if it's somewhere like this where it's like 5 miles from home. It's not taking me too long to get here at all. Like I say, this is the second time I've come along here, and it's a bit weird at the moment because I'm walking through this kind of residential area. You think to yourself, there's nothing to photograph around here, there's no point coming out here. But because I've been out here before, I know that to come back to, there's a brilliant boat graveyard at the end of this path to get out to. And also, if you head out to one of these spots, it might not be right at the time when you're heading out there. The light might not be brilliant, especially if you go out during the midday, because you don't want to get up early, you don't want to get out late and find it's been a waste that way. But you could be out there at the time, get photo pills up on your phone, and you can think, well, hang on a minute. That could be a really great location to head to for golden hour on another time. And it's one you can take in your pocket. And it's one you can think about for a future spot to head back to, a bit like the Warren. Oh wow, I'm loving this. I've got almost lines leading out to the sea over the right. I've got another pillbox over to my left. Wow, I've never been out this far before. That's what I mean by scouting. Head out a little bit further afield. And you might find things like, wow, I didn't expect to come across either of these before. You know, this really does appear to be a great find. I've just stumbled across it. There's literally another one just down the end of the path, which I'm going to have to quickly shoot because it looks just beautiful how it's just poking up beyond the hill. I'll put it up on a bit of B-roll as well so you can see what I'm talking about. But this is just a lovely setting. Over on the right, you've got a pathway that kind of leads to a gate, so you've got a bit of background leading line off into the distance element. You've got this lovely kind of tunnelled stream leading you out, which will go out to the river as a bit of a foreground. You've got this pillbox. It's just beautiful, beautifully placed. So I've finally reached the boat graveyard, and the difficulty that I've had the last time that I came here, like I say, I've been here before. Last time was a scouting trip, so I know the area a little bit more, but the difficulty I had the last time was the fact that, as you can see, these boats, they've just been left abandoned, they're just dotted around. It's difficult to isolate one and pick one object, pick one subject out of the absolute mess that is this graveyard. We've got this one here in the foreground. Now, I could shoot it head on, but we've got the boats in the background, which are just being a little bit of a nuisance in that regard. I can move over to the left and shoot it that way, but again, we've got all this mess over on the right. So it's a real difficult balancing act here. The images might not be perfect, but they hopefully convey a scene, convey a story of what these boats they used to kind of be able to do and what happened to them, what's the story, where'd they go, where'd they come from. Amazing, really. So what are we up to now? 0.4, 0.5? I've lost count, to be honest. I'll make sure I stick to just the 5 things if I go over it when I'm back home editing. But this next one I wanted to talk about is explore the viewpoint. A bit more when you're out on location, this one. But you see something on the internet, you see something that someone's already taken. Doesn't mean you can't go there and capture something similar. Like I say, when you're out doing photography, you're freezing time, so you can't capture the exact same thing that someone's captured before you. But if you're really worried, you've always got the point of seeing that same subject from a different angle, maybe going a little bit lower, using these kind of grasses as a bit of a mask in front of the wreck. Or if that's been done previously, go higher. You've got to get rid of the foreground distraction. Just shoot the wreck head on. Move to your left a little bit. Move to your right. Or of course, if there's something in the subject that you like in particular that's never been captured before, you've never seen it before on the internet, on social media, wherever, in books, zoom in. At the moment I've only got the 24 to 105 with me, so I can't zoom in. I didn't bother bringing the 100 to 400 with me today. A bit disappointing. But you can always just zoom in on the subject. And of course, straight away, you've got a different image to what's previously been achieved. The last point that I want to raise for this video isn't about how you find a location, it's what you do when you're at location. A bit like the last one where I was saying, look, explore the viewpoint. This one, simple really, shoot what you see. It's my favourite approach when I'm out with the camera. I'll get home and I'll have 200 images. And once I've reviewed them, once I've gone through them in Lightroom, I'll maybe have 30. Because that's what I do. I'll go out, I'll shoot whatever captures my eye. Sometimes I'll get back in Lightroom and I'll question, why the hell did I take that? Other times I'll be out on location, I think, no, this isn't going to be a shot I'm going to like, but I'll take it anyway. And then when I get back to Lightroom, I'm like, wow, that is not how I expected that shot to come out. And it's another way, like I say, it comes back to scouting. I think to myself, that shot that I love now, I don't love it too much at the moment, but adding a bit of golden hour light, adding a high tide so I can create a long exposure from it, adding all these other elements that could come together, and all of a sudden you might find yourself with a shot that you consider portfolio worthy, or not quite portfolio worthy, but one that you end up loving. And it's one thing that you can improve on time and time again. But of course, if you don't shoot it, if you go away and you leave it and you think, I'll leave it till next time, or you just don't care about it, and then you sit, if you're like me, I sit at home and I'm like, what would that shot have looked like had I just taken it? I'll go back and I'll try again next time I'm there. And then you go back, and if it's an object that can be moved, like a boat, or it's something that's just worn away over time, it might look very different and you might hate it, it might not even be there, you might not even be able to take it. So shoot what you see, take your opportunities as and when they come. I've just got to walk all the way home now. As you can see, I'm now back in the car, back in the warm, another adventure done and dusted for the week. I hope you had fun coming along with me. I hope you found this video useful. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.